Also, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Also, can you revise our previous session? Which topic we discussed? I think.
I was having a technical problem.
Okay, okay.
Hello?
And
Hello?
yes, yes, your voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Yesterday we were doing something under data types. We did data
Okay,
types, which is under the topic of tokens, if I'm not mistaken. So yesterday we learned a few things, inclusive of the main data types which are used in the C program,
yeah,
and we also learned the modifiers, which are also known as qualifiers.
okay,
We also learned something concerning the size qualifier and sign qualifier, saying that in
okay,
the size qualifier, there are two categories, that is short and long, and in sign qualifier, there are also two categories, that is called signed and unsigned. And we noted down saying that unsigned qualifiers are always positive values. And yeah, I think
yeah,
that's
very
all.
good. Yes, yes. So we started the concept of the data types and basic data type we have seen. Which are the basic data types? Three basic data types are there: character, integer, and float. And based on that, the other data types are also available in the C, which provide the additional, you can say, the functionality. Like a basic data type is integer, and there is a limitation of integer to store a value. Who remember what is the range of integer data type? What is the range of integer data type?
Sir,
Uh,
minus 128 to 127.
No, no, that integer data type, that is the range of
that's
character.
three. Yeah, that's minus 327682237767.
Yeah, voice is clear. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 Just a minute. Still, I think there is some. Okay. So now I'm sharing my screen. Just a minute. Okay, so we discuss about the data types. Then major 5 data types we will use in our C program. The first one is the character. Second one is the integer. Yeah, my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the number integer we can store without decimal value. Then if we want to store the beyond limit of integer data type, then we can use the long integer. Then if we want to store the floating value, then we will use the float data type, and other than the limit of float, we will use the double. So character, integer, long integer, float, and double. These are the 5 data types generally we will use in our entire C program, right? So that we have discussed. Now let's we move to the next topic of our today's topic. So under token, we have finished the keywords, identifiers, then data types, and this table you have to remember, right? Yeah. Now all of you write down the questions. Write short note on variable. All of you write down the questions. Write short note on variable. Write short note on variable with its naming rules. With its naming rules. It is similar like an identifier naming rules, right? Write short note on variables with naming rules. Now say what is variable, that we already discussed the concepts of variables and constants. These are the two concepts in a C language, variable and constants. Let's we start with the practical so you can understand the meaning of this. Again, for variable, when I started the first practical, if you remember, at that time I gave one example that variable means what? So variable generally manage the data value in our program. And in general, variable value is always change in the program. Variable which value always change in the program. Let's see again the just practically we will see, then you can understand. Yes. First, let me take a demo just for understanding point of view. Now say, Turbo C screen is visible. Turbo C screen is visible. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Suppose let's we take an example, the concept of variables, right? Suppose I want to write a program which will calculate sum of two numbers. Sum of two numbers, right? So in that case, we just assume that, okay, here we require to take two value from user and whatever answer of the sum, it will be stored into the another variables, right? So here we declare the variable using a data type, integer x, comma y, comma z. And then see, here variable means which value always change during the program execution. Suppose if I want to calculate the sum of z is equal to x plus y, then printf z. Answer is percentage d z, right? This is our logic. Okay. Suppose right now I am giving value over here. X is equal to 10, y is equal to 20, right? And if I execute this program, then it will give me an answer 30. Okay. Now see, at the time of declaration, I have assigned value x is equal to 10, y is equal to this. But suppose some technical issue in a laptop. I am not, it's taking too much time in a loading. Yeah. So see here, now after this, suppose I want to calculate the sum of other value, then what I will do? I will override the x, like x is equal to 100 and y is equal to, for example, 150. And then again I will calculate z is equal to x plus y, right? Then I will display again the output like printf answer is percentage d comma z. So here, see, here the x and y value is different. Here I have changed. Even at the later stage also you can change the value. Here z value is also changed. So this is known as a variable. Variable which value is always changed during the program. This is one concept of variable. And variable always manage a data that is processed in the program. Variable always manage the value that is processed in the program. That is the overall concept of variable. Now the concept of constant. What is the difference between constant and variable? In Gujarati, those who are our local people, they already learn in a school level, like in 5th standard or a 6th standard. The variable, the Gujarati of variable is chal, and the Gujarati of constant, it is achal, right? Chal and achal, these are the two Gujarati words that you might learn in your school level, right? Here in English, it is known as a variable and constant. Variable means which value always change during program execution, and constant concept is reverse, which value always fixed during the program execution. So how we can declare a constant, that we will discuss in the second part of this slide. But here just I tell you the practicals, that how we can declare a constant over here. Now see, if we want to declare a pi 3.14, that is the fixed value of pi. We know that whenever you want to use the value of pi, then it should be a 3.14. This is a universal truth, you can say. Even at the later stage, right now, if I override that 4.15, right now, pi is a variable, and at the time of declaration, we have assigned 3.14. And at the later stage, if you make the change in this value, right now it will accept. Why? Because here we have declared pi as a variable of float. It's a normal variable. It is not a constant. Let's see. See, there is no error over here. Yeah, it's a warning. Okay, you have declared a pi, but you have not used it. Okay, not an issue. But if I make this variable as a constant, then I have to use keyword like const. And what is the difference between variable and constant? Now pi becomes a constant. Now the meaning of constant means once you initialize a value to a constant, after that in a program you cannot modify its value. So constant value will be fixed in throughout the program. Now say if I compile this program, it will give me error. What type of error? Okay, here pi is declared a constant. So after that, you cannot modify the value of constant, right? So if I say this is an error, if I compile this program and see cannot modify a constant object, this is the error message, right? So when you can use the constant, so if specific value you want to use commonly in entire program, and it should not be a change at any stage. So in that case, you can make that variable as a constant, right? But if you do not mention this keyword, then it is simply a variable. And if you declare a variable, then at later stage you can change the value of variable. So this is the difference between variable and constant. Again, I repeat the same concept. Variable, which manage the value or data in entire program, and which value always change during the program execution. That is the concept of variable. Now, what is the concept of constant? So constant means once you initialize the value to a constant, after that it cannot be a change. So the constant value always remain fixed in throughout the program. It will never change at the later stage. I hope all of you friends understand. So how we can declare constant? You can precede the keyword const, or you can use the const keyword after data type also. These are the two methods, right? Here now see if you declare the pi as a constant, then it will not allow. But if you make this pi in a comment, and if you compile this, then now the error is not that. This is a warning, right? Warning means it suggests that okay, you have declared a pi variable in a program, right? But you have not used pi variable anywhere in the program. That is just a warning. If warning is there, then program will be executed. That is not an issue. This is just an indication to the programmer. Okay, yeah, here you have done these things, but you have not used it. So constant you can declare in two different ways. Either you can use const keyword before the data type or after the data type. And once you use the const, right, and you initialize any value, it's not like 3 point, but suppose right now, how we can even suppose right now the GST is mostly 18%. So if you want to make that const integer GST is equal to 18, right? So after that, the GST variable value will never change over here. Even by mistake, anybody change its value, then it will give error. So we know that 18 is the fixed value we want to use in our entire program. In that case, only you declare that variable as a constant. And once you declare as a constant, after that, suppose if I am trying to modify the GST value like that, GST is equal to 30, and if I compile this program, it will give me error, cannot modify the constant objects. But if I remove this constant keyword, right, so now GST becomes a normal variables. And once it becomes a normal variable, so in the program, anywhere you can change its value. So in one sentence, you can say variable, which value always change, and constant means which value always fix during the program execution. So that is the overall concept. See here now there is no error because here GST is now declared as a variables. So I hope friends, all of you understood this practical. Any questions, any doubt before I move further to the theory part? Please, all of you mention in a chat any questions, any doubt in that. Okay, all of you mention, so it becomes as a recording of attendance also, right? All of you, any questions, any doubt? In one sentence, all of you note down in your notebook what is variables, what is constant. All of you just note down in your notebook. I am writing on the screen. Variable. What is variable? Which values always change during the program execution, and constant, which value always remain fixed during program execution, right? The example of variables you can declare like this: integer x is equal to 5, y is equal to 3, like that. And at the later stage you can modify the value also, x is equal to 10, something like this. But constant, how you can declare? Const is the keyword. Integer, for example, GST is equal to 18. This is one example. Another example, you can write const plot. Suppose a pi value is fixed in throughout the program, then you can declare pi variable as a constant. So after that, nobody can change the value of constant, right? So if by mistake any operation make the changes in the const value, then it will give a error. So this is the concept of variable and constant. So who will revise this definition? Now who will tell me what is variable, what is constant?
Variable is that which the value always changes during the program execution.
Okay, yes.
And a constant, a value which value always remains fixed during
yes.
and after the execution.
Yes, during execution, not it's after execution, right? Chikoba, what's happened? You didn't get the concept of variable constant, Chikoba?
Yes, sir. My camera was not. Let me say the network was bad. So when you were explaining, I couldn't get anything, and it wasn't showing your screen.
So, is there a network issue? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, just two concepts I explained that here variable means what? Whenever you declare a variable, right? And so after the declaration statement at any place, you can change the value. So variable value is always changed. See here in example, at the time of declaration, I have allocated the value x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. So here after that you can suppose if you want to change the value of variable x, then you can change like x is equal to 5, y is equal to 10. Other value you can change it. It means you can override the value. So variables always change its value during program execution. But if suppose if you make any variable as a constant using the keyword like const, right? So now once you assign the value to a constant like GST is equal to 18, after that suppose if you want to modify the GST value, then it will not allow. Suppose here at initial declaration the value is 18, and after that you are changing its value like 30, then it will give error because now GST becomes a constant, right? So you declare a constant variable in such a situation that value you want to make a fixed during the execution. But suppose if you want to make the changes in a variable's value, then you declare a normal variable. Do not use the constant. That is just a difference between constant, and variable. So in single statement, you can say variable which value always change during program execution, and constant which value always remain fixed during the program execution. This is the concept. Clear this, Tikoba? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, I.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay. Yes. So now let's we start with the concept of variable. See here, a variable is a defined as a meaningful name. Actually, we are giving a name to each and every variable like X, Y, right? GST, pi, something like that. So variable is defined as a meaningful name given to the data storage location in computer memory. So see here, actually this name we are giving to the data storage location in computer memory. If I,
Thomas, batumire ko bawuze ati banetereko kashe. Batumire bawuze banetereko kashe.
hello, whose mic is on, Sikoba?
News insako Wi-Fi so sisebenza.
Say, in program, whenever we declare like integer x comma y comma z, what does it mean? So actually these variables are declared in memory, and memory like RAM, right? Let me consider this is the RAM. And when we say that actually x is equal to 5, y is equal to 3, so this value generally stored in a memory. Suppose here there is a 5, here there is a 3, right? So this all box is a particular location where our program values are generally stored. So this particular location is having an address also. Address is something like that. That is managed by the operating system. That we do not worry about that. So every location is having an address. And when we give a name X and Y, it means we are giving one logical name, to this particular location. This is the meaning of that. If we declare Y, it means the logical name of this location is Y. And in a memory, this value is having the name of that location, is having the name of that variables, and every location is having an address. And on that particular address, the value is generally stored into the memory. This is the internal mechanism in a program. But in program, we simply write like this: integer x is equal to 5 and y and z. So in general, you can say here x, y, and z are the name of location of memory where our values are generally stored. So variable name is the name of location in memory, right? That is the concept. If I declare like this, float pi, and what does the meaning of pi? So pi is the name of one location. This is the location name. And the value, if I store over here like 3.14, then this is the value of this location, 3.14. It is something like that. Our home is having, say, if we compare this example with our home, then say our home name is like Om or like Shiv Krupa, right? And our home is having an address also. Suppose our home is having a logical name, Om, Shiv Krupa, Lakshmi Vilas, like this, right? Lakshmi Palace, like this. So this is the logical name of our home. Then our home is having a plot number also. Plot number means its address. Suppose our plot number is 6/C. So this is the address, right? Om is the name, this is the address. And we people, you can say the person, those who are staying in the home, that you can say values. So if you compare these things, right? Similarly, in the variable declaration also, every variable is the name of a particular location where exactly our values are stored, our program values are stored. That is the simple concept. So this is just for your understanding point of view. Okay, when we declare any variable, right, then variable name is the name of particular location of memory, and the value of that variable is the value, and every location is having a unique address. But address generally we are not accessing in our program. We generally access the value, and how we can access the value of memory with the help of variable name. So that's why in a program we are using the variable name, right? That is the concept. So see the definition over here. Variable is the define a meaningful name given to a data storage location in computer memory. So that is the another definition of variable. When using a variable, we actually refer to a address of the memory where the data is stored. Actually, whenever we mention the variable name, what does it mean? Through the variable name, we are accessing the memory address, right, where exactly our data is stored. Suppose in our program, whenever we say that, now if I remove everything, yeah, now say, if I say that x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20, it means x is the name of a locations of memory where we want to store 10 value. Similarly, y is again the name of a computer memory location and where we want to store the 20 value. Then x plus y means whatever value of x and y, it will calculate sum, and the answer of 30 we want to store at the location of z. And whenever we write the printf answer %d z, what does it means? Here we want to fetch the value of z location, right? So that is the internal meaning of the variable. So see, when using a variable, we actually refer to the address of memory where our data is stored. Now, C language support two basic kind of variables. Generally, two types of variable we used in our program. One is the numerical variable, another is the character variable. Numerical variable we declare using integer, long integer, float, double data type. Character variable generally declare with the help of character data types, right? So generally two types of variable we are using in our C program. Let's see what is numerical variable. So now you tell me, when we are declaring numeric variable, when we are declaring numeric variable, when we are declaring a numeric variable,
When you want to enter numbers.
yes, whenever we want to enter a number or whenever we want to process a number, whenever we want to do certain operation on number. So whenever we want to do operation on a number, at that time we declare that variable numerical variable. And to declare a numerical variable, we have a generally two data types. See, it can be used to store either integer value or you can say the floating value based on the data type. While an integer value is a whole number without a fraction part. Fraction means decimal part. So integer value is a whole number, but integer value does not have a decimal point. And a floating point number can have a decimal point, that we already discussed in a data type. So integer variables value is having only a number without decimal point, and floating variable is having a number with decimal point. So that is the difference. Character variables. So in our last lab, I discussed the concept of character. See, character include any letter from alphabet or from the ASCII chart. ASCII chart that we discussed, that every character is having one ASCII code. And the character variable also includes a 0 to 9, because we also discussed 0 and 9. For us, it is a digit. But say, I already explained yesterday that if you declare character ch is equal to, and character is always assigned in a using single quotation. So here character A is a single character, single alphabet. Even if you want to assign a special symbol, then special symbol is also considered as a character. Even if you write any number in a single quotation, then here 4 is not a number, but here 4 is considered as a character because it is represented in a single quotation. So the character variable can store a single letter or a single symbols or a digit also, but it is represented in the single quotation. So that is, even at a time it can manage only single character. Character variable can manage only single character at a time in the program. That is the thing, right? And say generally character variable that are put between the single quote. So character value always assigned using single quotations, right? Now, how we can declare a variable, that already we discussed. So this is just a theory part. How we can declare a variable? Now you tell me which things is required to declare a variable. If you want to declare a 3 variable, which things is required? First,
Data type.
very good, data type. First, we have to decide the data type. How will you decide a data type of any variable?
According to the value of the variable.
Yes. So according to the value that you want to store in a variable, based on that you have to decide a data type. So declaring a variable, say each variable to be used in a program must be declared. That is the norms of C program. If you want to use any variable, first it must be a declared with appropriate data type. For example, in our program, suppose if you want to calculate sum of two numbers, and here x is equal to 10, y is equal to 10, and here you have used the z, but you have not declared z over here, then compiler will give you error. Which type of error? Undefined symbol z. So here you have used z, but you have not declared. So this is the norms of C language. Whatever variable you want to use in your program, it must be declared at the beginning with appropriate data type, right? Even you cannot declare the here like this integer. Some compiler may allow to declaration at the time of utilize, but the turbo C does not allow the declaration in between of the program. Whatever variable you want to declare, it must be declared at the beginning, right? Even you cannot declare the variable like this. It will give an error, right? So see why it is giving error, because here clear screen function we have written before this declaration. So you cannot declare, but if you place after this declaration, then there is no issue. So declaration must be at the beginning of the code, right? In a function. Now see, it will not give any error. So clear this concept. Whatever variable you use in your program, first it must be declared with appropriate data type. So that is the concept of variable. To declare a variable, specify the data type of variable followed by its name, right? So if you want to declare a variable A, then you use a appropriate data type like integer, float, right? In one sentence, you can declare many variables, even there is no limit in that. And see the first part, declaring a variable with appropriate data type. Now, what do you mean by initializing variable? Now tell me, what is the difference between declaring a variable and initializing a variable? I already
Declaring a
explained that.
variable.
Yeah.
Declaring a variable is that when we declare like integer z, but
Yes.
when we take a value to it or a number to it, it becomes initializing.
Very good, excellent. See, the difference between declaration and initialization. Declaration means we simply declare a variable with a data type. We are not assigning any value. This is only a normal declaration. But if you compare this statement, so here we have declared two variables, x and y, with the integer data type. But here, additionally, we also assign a value. So when you assign a value, it is known as a initialization. That is the thing. So first is declare a variable, whatever you want to use in your program with the data type. Okay. Once you declare, after that you initialize it. Initialization, how we can do? So see, while declaring the variable, we can also initialize them with some value like integer roll number is equal to 5. So here, this is the declaration, and once is equal to 5, that is, you can say initialization. So here we have initialized 5 value to the variable roll number. That is the concept. So initializing variable, we can initialize a value at the time of declaration also. In continuous of this topic, this is again a very, very important, and all of you have to remember all these norms, right? Rules of variable declaration. If you want to declare any variable in your program, then which norms you have to follow? All these norms are very similar to the norms of identifier. If you remember, then we already discussed the naming rules for identifier. I hope all of you remember this. Naming rules of identifier. Hello?
Yeah, we remember some of the rules.
Yes. Let me just,
Yes,
all
sir.
these norms are repeat over here. Let me discuss one by one. Suppose if I want to declare a variable in my program, then which norms? See, the first norms, all rules for naming identifier, also rules for variable declaration. See, what does it mean? Whatever rules we discuss for identity, because see, the definition of identifier is the name of variable, name of array, name of function. So whatever naming rules for identifier, it is applicable to the naming rules for variable. That's it. That is very simple, right? But still here, again, we will revise the thing. See here, to declare a variable, specify a data type. That is the different thing. You cannot declare any variable like this. Suppose if you want to declare a Z, then you cannot declare like this, only Z, right? If you declare any variable, then you have to specify the data type, appropriate data type, based on the value that you want to store. So to declare a variable, specify data type of the variable followed by its name. Another rules. So first rules for variable declaration is declare a variable with the appropriate data type. That is the first. Okay. All of you remember, or you note down in your notebook also. First rule says you can say declare a variable with the appropriate data type. Okay. Second, variable names should have always be a meaningful, right? Do not give ABC, PQR, XYZ, something like that. Give a meaningful name. Suppose if you want to store a marks of 5 subjects, then you give the variable name like this. Suppose right now, if you want to store the marks of your first semester subject, right, then you can give the like PIC's variable name, then COA, then one is English or CS, right? Then maths, something like that. So in that way, you give a meaningful name of the variables. Okay. So variable name always be a meaningful and must reflect the purpose of their usage in the program. Purpose, based on purpose, you give the variable name. Don't give like XYZ, ABC, PQR like this. Otherwise, in a big program, it will create a confusion, right? Variable declaration always end with the semicolon. That is another rules. Variable declaration statement, it means whenever you finish the declaration, at the end of statement, you have to mention the semicolon. So variable declaration statement always end with the semicolon. That is the another norms. So three norms over here. Variable always declare with the data type. Then the name should be a meaningful. And third one is the, you can say, the variable declaration statement always end with the semicolon. So here the concept of variable, and see here we have not repeat all the naming rules of identifier, but suppose in an exam, if it is asked in 8 marks, then you have to mention all the rules of identifier. Now you tell me which are the other rules of naming convention for identifier. The same it is applicable for variable. Other than these three, which are the next, we can say variable name always start with the
Alphabet.
or you can say letter, right? Except underscore, right? It also allow the underscore. Other than underscore, it doesn't allow any special symbol. That is the second rules. Yeah. Any other rules?
Must not start with the numbers and
Yes.
not contain
Yes.
numbers.
Variable name cannot be start with the number, right? It must start with the letters only. Okay. Good. Any other? It does not allow any special symbol or a space except underscore, right? Then what is the maximum length? Variable name,
31, sir.
yes, it should be a maximum length of the variable name is 31. But again, as I told you that the length of the variable name is depending on the compiler, right? Depending on the compiler, the length may vary, but you can write the maximum length you can give up to the 31 characters. So these are the norms we already discussed in the naming identifier. The same rules are applicable for the variable also. We cannot declare variables with the numbers. Okay. And after that, the concept of, now you tell me here. Now I am declaring certain variables over here. You just tell me which variables are valid, which variables are invalid, right? You just categorize. I am declaring certain variables here. Okay, here I have declared total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variable of integer. Now you tell me which variables are valid, which variables are invalid. Do not just I ask a particular person. Mansoor, can you just tell me? Mansoor?
Yes, sir.
Mansoor, just you tell me first. Here, employee number is a valid variable
The
name or
first one
not?
is invalid.
What is the reason? What is the reason? Why it is invalid? Mansoor, why it is invalid? I think there is a network issue. Now, who will tell me the why it is invalid? EMP
Can I
number
help,
is,
sir?
yeah, Uso.
If you don't use underscore,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
anything won't be
Yes,
valid,
very
sir.
good, Jimmy. Here there is a space, and space is not allowed in variable name. Very good. Okay. And another students, Vaibhav, can you tell me that this is a EMP underscore name is a valid or invalid? Vaibhav Sangani. You have to simply say me a valid or invalid. You can write in a chat also if you want. Vaibhav, my voice is audible? Vaibhav. Okay. Friend, at least you respond me in a chat. Okay, Sagar. Sagar, Sagar, EMP underscore name is a valid variable name or invalid? Sagar?
Valid, sir,
Valid. Why it is valid?
because it is underscore.
Yes, very good. Right? Then, okay. Naushad, the third one is EMP dash salary. Naushad, my voice is audible. EMP dash salary is a valid or invalid? Aditya? Aditya? Hello? Hello, Aditya? My voice is audible. Hello? My voice is audible, Aditya. Jimmy, can you tell me? Okay, Aditya,
Yes,
valid.
sir.
Okay. And Jimmy, you tell me the last two. Address 1 and plot dash 2. Address 1 is valid or
So
invalid?
address one is yes,
Well,
sir. Address one is valid, sir.
very good. And a 2 plot number?
Wrong, sir. Invalid, sir.
Invalid
Because
because
number
it
cannot
starts with the
start
number.
before
Yes, very good,
sir.
very good. So here today we have discussed the concept of variables and constant. Actually, our next topic is all of you just the write down this topic and LQ. What is constant? Explain various type of constant. And see the definition that we already discussed. Constants are identifiers whose value does not change during program execution. Instead of does not change, you can write down constants are identifier whose values always fixed during program execution. Both the meaning is same. See here the next statement is constants are used to define a fixed value like pi so that their value does not get changed in the program even by mistakes. If you don't want to change the value of any variable by mistake, then you declare that variable as a constant. How to declare? That we again already discussed using const keyword. You can declare, even you can write the const keyword before the data type, or you can write const keyword after the data type. So this is the constant. Type of constant that we will discuss from the next session. Now, before I sign off my session, right, the last question from my side, any questions, any doubt, if you have, you can ask me. All of you mention your response in the chat, so it is recorded as attendance, everyone, right? All of you just write down your response in a chat. Yeah. And now you can sign up from the meeting. If you have any questions, then you ask me, right? And those who are preparing a technical video, please send me. Wuso, Mansoor, what is the status? Angela, Yogi, sorry, right? Brindan, Amit. Now I think almost I have given 1 or 2 week time. So in this week, you send me a video if possible, up to the Saturday, Sunday. You can take your time. Okay, now you can disconnect. Yeah, okay, you can disconnect. Thank you, everyone.